Brethren and sistren of the digital diasporic discourse, gather ye round as we plunge headfirst into a conversation so fraught with linguistic landmines, so submerged in cultural conundrums, that one must tread lightly as if stepping through a field of nitroglycerin-coated dandelions.
I saw a lot of people get mad at Ray for saying that. I didn't take it as Ray saying he wants to say. I took it as Ray saying it is one of those words that's immediately cancelable if you're not black. You feel me? But we're not even consistent with how we enforce it. You feel me? Sometimes people let like Mexicans say the word or Puerto Rican say the word. It's okay or not okay depending on the split. Sometimes someone's half black, but they present as white, but they get questioned for saying the word, while the same other person who's half black but black doesn't get questioned for saying the word. Like, it is a weird word. The way we use it and don't allow people to use it is weird, and it's honestly pretty hard to enforce. And as more people are engaging in interracial relations, there's going to be more people in the middle that have to justify their usage or lack thereof of the word. There's black people that get called all kind of names if they say the word funny. Like, the way he says it is so weird. So it's like, it's such a unique word in the English language. That's why I feel like it does get as much attention as it does. But that being said, I never got the impression for Ray that he's just trying to run around saying the N-word. But I do know that if you say bigger and it sounds like knit, you're cooked. If you're not black, you're cooked. So there's some words I know that people that aren't black just avoid using. That's not because it might sound like. What y'all need to do is hold y'all friends accountable when they say it. I don't mean beat their ass. I just mean like, hey, don't say that. You can't say that. Just at least like, you feel me? A lot of people don't do that. Y'all just be letting anybody say it. And then, you feel me? You get on the internet and pretend like you give a fuck about enforcing who can and can't say it.
And the protagonist of this narrative, the oracle of this dilemma, is none other than Agent 00, the YouTuber extraordinaire, our black Canadian emissary of gaming and social commentary. Today, he plunges headlong into the swirling tempest that is the N-word, its usage, its ownership, its policing, and the quandary of his Taiwanese friend Ray, who, like so many others outside of blackness, finds himself tiptoeing around this linguistic explosive. First, let us start with the monumental weight of the N-word itself, a word so culturally loaded, so historically drenched in the blood and sweat of struggle, that to say it, or even think about saying it, if you're not black, is akin to striking a match over a pool of gasoline. But alas, here comes Ray, a Taiwanese streamer, caught in the crosshairs of modern discourse, not because he desires to fling this word about like confetti at a parade, but because, as Agent 00 astutely observes, the rules surrounding the word are inconsistent, nebulous, and perplexing. The crux of the issue, as Agent points out, is not Ray's insatiable desire to use the N-word, it's the absurdity of how society arbitrarily enforces its usage. One moment, it's acceptable for someone of Puerto Rican or Mexican descent to utter the word, and the next, someone half black but presenting as non-black is scrutinized for the same utterance. This linguistic gatekeeping, this bizarre tug-of-war between cultural ownership and public consumption, is maddening in its inconsistency. And Agent, ever the eloquent commentator, dares to shine a light on this muddled terrain. You see, the N-word, as Agent so poignantly points out, occupies a unique space in the English lexicon, a word that is not just a word but a cultural touchstone, a historical artifact, and, yes, a weapon. The double-edged sword of reclamation allows black folks to wield it as a tool of camaraderie, humor, or rebellion. Yet, for anyone outside that boundary, especially those who lack a drop of melanin, the word transforms into a tripwire of instant cancellation. Say it once, and you're done. Cooked. Exiled from polite society as swiftly as an emperor deposed. And this, dear reader, is where Ray's predicament lies. Ray is not some cultural vulture circling over blackness, looking to snatch up the N-word like it's an unguarded piece of treasure. No, His dilemma lies in the nuances of a world where one wrong syllable, one poorly pronounced bigger that wears too close to me air can turn you into a social pariah. It's not the intention that matters anymore, it's the optics, the sound, the proximity to danger. This is the crux of Agent's argument. The punitive measures surrounding the word, especially for non-black folks, are almost surreal in their severity. What makes this all the more convoluted, as Agent keenly observes, is that as society becomes more racially blended, with interracial relationships on the rise, the lines of who can and cannot say the N-word become ever more blurred. Who, then, is allowed to say it? The mixed-race child with a black father but a white appearance? The half Latino kid raised in a predominantly black neighborhood? The more a global village mingles and intermingles, the more these rigid rules begin to collapse under the weight of their own contradictions. But let us not romanticize this complexity. For while Agent acknowledges the inconsistencies, he also delivers a clarion call for accountability. Yes, the N-word is fraught with difficulty, but that doesn't mean we throw up our hands in defeat. No, he demands that we hold our friends accountable, not through violence or hostility, but through the gentle but firm act of saying, "You can't say that." Too often, people let their non-black friends toss the word around without consequence, only to jump on social media and feign outrage when it's convenient. This performative policing, as Agent notes, is the real cancer in the discourse, a fraudulent enforcement of boundaries when cameras are rolling, but a free-for-all behind closed doors. In this mess of cultural enforcement, Agent brilliantly pinpoints the hypocrisy of it all. How many people let their friends slide with saying the N-word in private but hop onto Twitter or Instagram with righteous fury when a public figure makes the same mistake? This duplicity, this cognitive dissonance, only adds fuel to an already volatile fire. It's not that people don't understand the rules, it's that the rules are selectively applied based on convenience, clout, and proximity to blackness. For Ray, and others like him, it's not a matter of wanting to wield the N-word like a toy. It's about navigating a minefield where even the appearance of wanting to say it can lead to your undoing. Ray's dilemma is emblematic of a larger societal contradiction, where one's racial identity and appearance dictate the level of scrutiny they face. And Agent 00, ever the cultural critic, exposes this with a laser focus that cuts through the noise. As Agent grapples with these contradictions, he also acknowledges the deep cultural and historical wounds that make the N-word such a potent symbol. For black folks, this word is not just a word, it's a reclamation, a symbol of survival, a weapon that has been turned back on those who once wielded it to dehumanize. And while it may seem like overkill to police the word so strictly, there is a reason why it holds such a sacred and precarious place in black culture. Ultimately, Agent's analysis is not about excusing the use of the N-word by non-black people. It's about recognizing the complexities of living in a multiracial, multicultural world where the old rules don't always apply cleanly. Ray, in his innocence, represents the growing number of people who must navigate these murky waters, where one slip of the tongue could mean social annihilation. And so, dear listener, let us not mistake Agent's critique as a call for leniency on racial slurs. No, his message is one of clarity and consistency. If we are to enforce the boundaries around the N-word, we must do so with integrity and fairness, not with the arbitrary whims of performative outrage. We must hold our friends accountable behind closed doors, not just when the world is watching. In conclusion, Agent 00's meditation on the N-word, Ray's predicament, and the broader complexities of racial discourse is a clarion call for consistency, accountability, and self-awareness. The N-word is not just a word, it is a cultural, historical, and social artifact that must be handled with care. And as our world becomes more intertwined, as our boundaries blur, it is up to us to navigate this landscape with thoughtfulness, integrity, and an unwavering commitment to the truth.